Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my Fear the Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 7. And this episode is called The Unveiling. And this episode was released on July 9th, 2017. This was released on the same day as the next episode, the mid-season finale. Which I kind of like that they do that. They kind of have a two-part episode when they have the mid-season finale. I kind of like that that happens. I wish The Walking Dead would do that a lot more, where they would have two episodes air at the same time. I'm guessing they can't do that though because Walking Dead airs around football season, and Fear the Walking Dead airs in the summertime. So I think Fear the Walking Dead can do that. I think they would get scared that the Walking Dead would go up against Sunday Night Football and not do well in the ratings. So um, that's just me. But I'm gonna talk about this episode. I really enjoyed it. Um, it opens up so pretty much. Um, I'm gonna go over um the episode kind of scene by scene because this episode kind of had a big storyline. So that's how I'm gonna do this. The episode starts off with Jake heading towards Walker's camp, which I haven't mentioned. I kind of like that they have his last name be Walker because that's kind of like a reference to The Walking Dead because they call their zombies walkers. So I kind of like that. Um, I kind of like that little reference right there. I don't know if they did that on purpose. I think they had to because it's the same show essentially. Not the same show, but it's the same people that wrote the show. So, um, Alicia tries to stop him, and because Jake thinks this is gonna go smoothly, but then she reveals that the Timberland or the Timberland family was murdered by Walker, and then this makes wants to go get things settled even more before things get too hectic. So they arrive at their community, which is pretty much a gas station. They're forced to give up their weapons, and Walker comes out, and Jake wants to make a deal with Walker. And I like the scene that he had where he said, "Let's have some lunch," and he pulled out a cut up pig's head. I like that scene a lot. So what happens is Jake and Walker want to have a discussion, and Jake wants to have to end this before it gets into an all-out war, calm and collectively, which we know that's not going to happen because if you've ever watched any TV show or anything, normally when people try to end things calm and collectively, it never happens. And Walker doesn't want to do it that way. He claims that he uh, he hates the fact that he had to deal with um, him and his drunk friends serving him food, taking their tips while they were on their land. And um, Jake talks about how the court says that you weren't supposed to come off this land. We settled this in court. And Walker says that now that we're in the apocalypse, the court system has nothing to do with this. Now it's back to the first man way of doing things. And Nick, um, not Nick, I'm sorry. Jake says that this has nothing to do with the courts. It has to do with Morales, and he wants to do a parlay. They'll give them some water if they don't attack the um Broke Jaw Ranch, and they agree to this, but they have to um go by Indian customs, and they're going to leave um one of their people um, in exchange for them taking one of their hostages. One of their hostages. I don't know why the Indians do it this way, but they do. And who do we see serving them food? None other than Ophelia, who we haven't seen since I don't. I think it. I think since season 2, episode 15 of Fear the Walking Dead, because I don't think she was in the season finale actually. Um, and Alicia and I kind of like that it was Alicia that saw her. Alicia's upset with her because she had to go through a ton of the infected to try to um, get to try to save her, and she's upset that she just left him. And Ophelia tells Alicia that Walker really isn't a bad guy, and how the real bad people are the people at Broke Jaw Ranch. And then Jake's about to go off and do this deal with he wants Alicia to go tell her father to do this deal. No, he wants Alicia to tell his father to do this deal, but Alicia doesn't want to. He wants Jake to do it because um, since Jake is Jeremiah's son, he thinks Jeremiah will listen to him versus Alicia, and Alicia will stay and be a hostage. So he takes Ophelia with him, and I'll just kind of break this down. As Ophelia stays, she kind of starts to see more of the Indian customs. She talks about they talk about how now the first man are about to really walk across the earth. Um, and I kind of like that you get to kind of see this aspect because because they talk and you get to see this type of storyline in the zombie apocalypse because that's how because Indians um were on American soil first, but then obviously an American Christopher Columbus kicked them off the land pretty much, and I liked it. And now it's like, and now they're saying that now that this zombie apocalypse has happened, we're taking our world back, but we're gonna use some of you guys as resources because they've been using vehicles, they've been using trucks. The it even he even shows Alicia the helicopter that she was in episode 2 when Travis died, which I liked, and he says that he understands why she hates him for killing Travis. But you have to understand that the hate that you feel is what I feel towards the Otto family, just three times more. And then Alicia says, I still hate you, and I hate you for thinking that you know what I'm going through right now. Travis was my family. And then he takes her into her where she's gonna stay for the night, and they also said that she has to contribute and stuff like that. And he shows her the place where they used to have tourists of fake skeletons, but he has a real one showing his great grandfather who was buried at Brokejaw Ranch before the Otto family took it over. And he even talks about how when the dead rise, he saw this more as an unveiling, showing that the Indians can take back their land and the first man can take back their land. And I liked this storyline here. I kind of thought it was very interesting. So then what happens though from this is Jake takes so as this has been happening, Madison is wondering Madison and Nick are asking where Alicia is, and then and they get suspicious when Jake's not there, but they don't really know where they went. And Jeremiah comes and tells them that Jake, um, and Alicia took like a pack of supplies and stuff, and Jake and Nick wants to be part of the militia, which is like the military base that they have, or the military army that they have, and because he wants to contribute towards the community. So he gets all armored up, and he even ends up cutting his hair. And Madison's not happy that he's doing this, but um, Nick says that he's doing this to help prepare for an attack, but if not, to make friends with the enemy Troy. And then later on, um, Jake and uh, Jake and Ophelia finally come back, and Madison's not happy that Jake just left Ophelia over there, and Jake tries to convince Jeremiah to take the deal with the Indians, but um, Jeremiah refuses, says that he wouldn't even piss in Walker's mouth if he needed water, which I thought was a good line. Um, and Madison's upset about this, that Jake left her daughter out there to be kidnapped, pretty much, and who knows what's going to happen to her, and that Jeremiah won't take the deal. So what she does is she goes to Troy and wants to take um, a group of his men and Nick to the gas station where the Indians live and bring back Alicia. And at first he doesn't want to do this because he wants to do this Jake's way, but Um, then but then Madison says that she owes him. No, that he owes her because she could have sold him out to the devil or to the entire town when he went and killed the um, Gretchen's family. I'm just gonna say Gretchen's family because I can't. The Tremboli family or whatever that last name was. So they agree to do it. So they pretty much I just kind of wrapped up. All these storylines didn't happen all at once. They kind of took place scene by scene. Um, what ends up happening is Troy tries to kidnap Alicia, but Alicia doesn't want to go at first because she knows this is just going to start up even more of a war. Um, but then eventually they end up kidnapping one of the guys, and he tries to escape, and Troy kills him. And one of Walker's guys is about to see them, and they're not going to make it, so Nick goes to kill him. And it's really weird to see Nick with his new haircut because I don't even recognize him half the time when I see him. I'm like, oh shit, that's Nick. Um, so he ends up and they end up killing a ton of Walker's men, and they take Alicia, and Madison drives the truck. Now I don't really like the fact that Madison did this. I get that it's a motherly instinct type of thing, and she doesn't want a daughter to be put in danger. But all she did now is just start even more of a war. So I didn't really think that made sense. Um, so what happens is um, they go back, and Jake's not happy that Madison did this, and I like this. And neither was Jeremiah, and I like the line that Jeremiah said that no, the people that don't listen usually will get what's coming to them in the end. So that makes me think that something bad's going to happen to Madison, where she's not going to take instructions and she's going to lose something. And um, Ophelia and Jeremiah don't really get along. They had like a scene in the pantry, which I liked, where you know, she talks about where they talk about how this isn't going to lead to a war and stuff like that. And then Jake's still going to go try to make the deal anyways. And um, what ends up happening is um, Ophelia it acts like she knows something about um, Broke Jaw Lane, that they did something really bad, and maybe they're going to be the ones that are really the bad guys. But she won't say what she did to Alicia. She tries to get Alicia to go with her, but she refuses. So, um, um, Jake and Alicia go to try to make the deal, but the Indians just beat the shit out of Jake, and Walker's not interested in this deal now because of the act that Madison pulled, and he cuts his head and is about to scalp him, just like he did to that guy um, a few episodes. I think episode in season 2, episode 5, and Ophelia calls him off and tells his whole group to prepare for a war. And he said that he's going to do the same, scalp him and his son right in front of his old man and then kill him, which I liked. Um, and so then Ophelia comes back, and she's all beat up because she's been outcast by the Indians. And uh, they, um, and pretty much what happens is Madison realizes that an attack's going to happen, so they're going to let Ophelia stay. And Madison talks about how she promised Ophelia's father that she would look after her, and that's what she's going to do. And Ophelia talked about how she didn't really know anything about the community. She just was found at the border, and then she lost that. And I did like the scene where Ophelia felt like she was a prisoner because the Indians didn't have walls up because if they were going to be attacked, they would just see it coming. But they actually have walls up, so I did like that scene. And then what ends up happening is the militia, which The Walking Dead ripped off of it, but I can't really say they did because um, it's the same writers and stuff. Because they called, you know, Alexandria the Kingdom, and the Hilltop the militia when they were all going to go up against the Saviors in the next season. Season 8 of Walking Dead. So kind of thought that was funny. But the militia's standing guard, and Troy's telling each of his men that when it comes down to it, one of them's gonna have to stay back and um, have a suicide note, and what that is usually one of the guys will stay back and fight and end up getting killed. And Nick tries to offer, but Troy doesn't want him to make that offer, which was kind of very symbolic right there. And then what happens is some of the people in the militia, actually all of them, end up getting sick, and a ton of chaos breaks down, and some of the people become infected, and they end up reanimating. So a ton of chaos ensues um, at Brookjaw Ranch, um, and one of the guys is about to be eaten by the infected, and Nick saves him. And then what happens is the cloaks, um, and Ophelia, who's been beaten, we found out this was a trap, and we had a feeling this was a trap because she takes off, and I kind of had a feeling it was a trap just by the way she was acting when the situation went down. And then what happens is Madison goes to chase after her. The whole cloaks were about to, but then Nick starts to get sick, and Alicia tries to tend to Nick while Madison chases after Ophelia, and that's how the episode ends. I thought the episode was great. It had a lot of chaos at the end, and it kind of hooks you in to want to watch it. And this is when it's okay to leave this type of hook because literally the next episode was right afterwards. So I liked it, honestly, and I liked this episode. I thought it was really good. I thought it really did a good job of setting the tone for the mid-season finale. But I really liked the storyline where they have this war going on with Brookjaw Ran- Broke Brook Brokejaw Ranch or Brokejaw Ranch and the Indians. And I do kind of like how um, Madison's trying to convince Alicia that the Indians really are bad people by talking about all this stuff they've done, but Alicia thinks that they're not really bad people and that they've done worse. So I kind of like this. I like this episode overall. I thought it was really good. I even like the stuff they did with Nick. I like the stuff they did with Ophelia. I thought it was really good, and I can't wait to watch the mid-season finale, which I'm gonna watch right after I'm done recording this video. But that's pretty much it for my review of this episode. If I had to give this episode a rating, I'm gonna give it another solid B. I thought this episode was really good. It had a lot of action in it, so I'm gonna give it a solid B. I thought it had some nice storylines in it, nice character development, and I thought it had some nice action in it as well. So I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a B. Um, and that's pretty much it, guys. Leave your thoughts on what you guys thought of this episode down below. And make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content. And click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers YouTube channel. That's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.